The storm system developed rapidly, fueled by warm moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. It collided with a cold front moving in from the west, creating a volatile atmospheric cocktail. By February 14, 2025, the storm unleashed its fury on the unsuspecting East Coast. Torrential rains, high winds, and even isolated tornadoes tore through communities. The damage was swift and merciless. From the Carolinas to New England, millions felt the storm's impact. But it was the heartland of America, particularly Kentucky, that faced the brunt of nature's wrath. The storm's intensity caught many off guard. Weather models had predicted heavy rainfall, but the sheer volume of precipitation exceeded expectations. Rivers and creeks, usually docile, transformed into raging torrents. Homes were ripped from their foundations, businesses were swallowed by floodwaters, and lives were tragically lost. The storm served as a stark reminder of nature's raw power and the vulnerability of even the most prepared communities. As the storm moved eastward, it left a trail of devastation in its wake. Downed trees and power lines became commonplace, cutting off electricity to hundreds of thousands. Roads were rendered impassable, isolating communities and hindering rescue efforts. The storm's aftermath painted a grim picture of destruction, a scene tragically familiar to a nation increasingly accustomed to extreme weather events. The days following the storm were a blur of activity, as emergency responders worked tirelessly to reach those stranded and provide aid to those in need. The National Guard was deployed, their presence a reassuring sight amidst the chaos. Volunteers, their hearts heavy with empathy, joined the relief efforts, offering whatever assistance they could. The spirit of unity and resilience, so characteristic of Americans in times of crisis, shone brightly amidst the devastation. Kentucky, known for its rolling hills, bourbon distilleries, and warm hospitality, became the epicenter of the storm's devastation. The state, particularly the eastern region, was inundated with record rainfall, leading to catastrophic flooding. Rivers and creeks overflowed their banks, engulfing homes, businesses, and entire communities. The scale of the disaster was staggering. At least 9 fatalities were reported in Kentucky, a grim testament to the storm's ferocity. The stories behind these numbers are heartbreaking. Families ripped apart, lives cut tragically short. Each loss represents a profound impact on loved ones and communities left grappling with the immensity of their grief. The Kentucky National Guard, working in tandem with local first responders, conducted over 1,000 water rescues, a testament to the scale of the flooding. Governor Andy Beshear, his voice heavy with emotion, declared a state of emergency, calling the storm one of the most serious weather events in the state's history. The declaration unlocked crucial federal aid, providing a lifeline to a state reeling from the disaster. As floodwaters slowly receded, the true extent of the damage became horrifyingly clear. Homes were reduced to rubble, their contents strewn across the landscape. Businesses, the backbone of many communities, were decimated, their futures uncertain. The storm's impact on Kentucky was not merely physical, it was a blow to the spirit of its people. Yet, even amidst the heartbreak, the resilience of Kentucky shone through. Neighbors helped neighbors, sharing food, shelter, and words of comfort. While Kentucky bore the brunt of the storm's fury, other states across the Eastern U.S. were also significantly impacted. In Georgia, a state more accustomed to hurricanes than widespread flooding, the storm brought Atlanta, a bustling metropolis, to its knees. One fatality was reported in the city, a grim reminder that even urban areas were not immune to the storm's reach. Tennessee, sharing a border with Kentucky, experienced significant flooding as well. Major roadways were transformed into rivers, cutting off transportation routes and isolating communities. The Tennessee Valley Authority, tasked with managing the region's complex river system, worked tirelessly to control water levels and mitigate further damage. Virginia and West Virginia, known for their mountainous terrain, faced a different but equally dangerous threat: mudslides. The torrential rainfall saturated the soil, making it unstable and prone to sudden, devastating landslides. Roads were closed, homes were evacuated, and communities braced themselves for the possibility of further destruction. The storm's impact on the East Coast extended far beyond the immediate damage. The widespread power outages, affecting over 300,000 utility customers from the Gulf Coast to the Northeast, brought life to a standstill for millions. Schools were closed, businesses were shuttered, and families huddled in the darkness, their lives disrupted by the storm's aftermath. As the initial shock subsided, the arduous task of recovery began. Across the affected regions, communities rallied, demonstrating remarkable resilience in the face of adversity. Neighbors helped neighbors, sharing food, water, and shelter. Volunteers from unaffected areas poured in, eager to lend a helping hand. The federal government, responding to the scale of the disaster, swiftly approved disaster declarations for Kentucky and other hard-hit states. These declarations unlocked crucial federal aid, providing much-needed financial assistance for rebuilding efforts and supporting those who had lost their homes and livelihoods. The recovery process is long and arduous, but the spirit of hope and resilience burns brightly. The outpouring of support both locally and nationally serves as a beacon of light amidst the devastation. The road to rebuilding will be long, but the indomitable spirit of the American people, their unwavering determination to overcome adversity, will serve as a guiding force in the months and years to come. The storm may have left its mark, but it did not break the spirit of those it impacted.